Hello, dear heart, and welcome to this different perspective about depressive states. So in this, I just want to experience and explain to you guys that the belief that depression is due to genes or biology protects us in a way for a while, but the responsibility is lacking because we steer away from thinking about life as honestly and intricately as we can by feeling our feelings, forgiving who we need to forgive, starting with ourselves. So yes, it is a comfort blanket to some degree. As a child, when we experience trauma, we always think that it's our fault. And as an adult, it's so clear that this is not true. But as a child, we don't know this. And the betrayal comes in at play too. Because the child feels at fault. They never explore alternatives, okay? They stick to that story. And in contemplating, they feel like when they switch their story, they are betraying the others involved, and they feel scared to do so because they're in that state. They don't want to betray their parents or whoever was involved. Yet, the true betrayal comes in the fact that the child is betraying themselves because it's not their fault. It's not your fault. So why do children think that it's their fault? There is a literal mechanism of the brain that doesn't come online until later. And this is what makes babies cry when they wake up alone in a room. They think that they are alone on this planet, in this universe, and that nobody else exists. Have you ever played peekaboo with a baby? Every single time that your face goes away, the baby really thinks that you disappear. It cannot recognize you without your face. So you really disappear to them when you hide your face. And this said that this is the result of the perception that the child is the center of the universe. Their selfing mechanism hasn't yet come online. They're busy experiencing that. So everything revolves around them. Therefore, everything that is happening is at cause because of them. Now, the other two ways to look at it is that as a child, you are dependent on your caregivers, your parents, whoever took care of you. And you're at the survival of their mercy. Now, which makes us powerless for a child because we cannot really change our environment. And the only form of power that we can take back is making it our fault. So at least in our own mind, it's our fault, which means that if something could not be different, then it was our fault. And this is the only way we can take some form of control. Just like obesity protects those against rape, blaming yourself protects you from the vulnerability you're too afraid to step into. Taking blame is like a fake comfort blanket of control. This comes at a cost though. If you were in control of getting hurt, then at some level you think you deserve it. And if there is no proof that you deserve what you got, do you know what the mind does? It creates a belief of, I hate myself. So instead of intrinsically loving what you are, you start segregating yourself to this level. You start hating your body, you start hating your mind, you start hating the circumstances, you start hating your character, you start hating your authenticity. Because this is the only way that the distortion of it is your fault can play out. Because if you hate yourself and you're separated and you are segregated from yourself in so many ways, then it's easy to believe that it's your fault. And it's easy to take on that heavy burden that yes, you are the center of the universe and you caused this to happen because you deserve it. And why do you deserve it? Because you hate yourself. And if you are the co-creator of your life and you hate yourself, that's what's gonna show up. that's what's going to show up in your reality. There's this fine line between not taking responsibility at all and taking all of the responsibility. You have to love your avatar. I have pointed to this maybe in a couple of videos, and maybe I haven't made it the best point, but order number 1 is wake up as awareness. And number 2, you have to love this avatar. You have to love all of this avatar. The hair, the eyes, the skin, the heart, the personality, the characteristics. Gosh, even the likes and the dislikes that the mind superimposes onto the moment. You have to love this avatar. The deepest struggle and the deepest hurt that I have ever dealt with in my life was coming to consequences of I am clinging on to a belief that I hate myself. The deepest hurt and pain comes from that belief. Maybe it's so unconscious and unknown. Maybe it's buried so deep. But that belief is the most destructive belief, in my opinion, that ever exists. And that's why we see what we see in the world. Because someone that loves themselves will not go and do what this world is doing. The amount of suffering that's found in this world, the amount, if we look at, in my opinion, this is also the really deepest depth of narcissism, is the black hole belief around which everything catapults around for narcissism. Is their very core belief is I hate myself. And then they start superimposing I am God, I am the center of attention, I am love, I am so happy, like all of the structures that's built around that black hole, like it just gets sucked into that black hole and then nothing exists in there. You have to love yourself. You have to. That is your responsibility. If you take anything from the series, may it be this. May you start prioritizing loving yourself. And may your awareness become so fine-tuned to all the ways that you are not loving yourself. All the situations and perceptions that you create because stemming from that I hate myself to some form or some degree. It's not your fault. It's no one's fault. There's a beautiful saying that if you blame others, you're really far away. If you blame yourself, you're halfway there. If you blame nothing and no one, you have arrived. It's no one's fault. It's not your fault. So I hope this gave you some insight on past traumatic traumas and why children believe that it is their fault. And how then do we alchemize this I am hate, I am love, changing beliefs within yourself, again, starts with number 1, awareness. I would love to hear how this resonates with you. I do value your opinion. I do want to hear your story. I do give you the space to voice. This is a safe space to share. So let's share. Namaste.